Welcome back, artists. Last time we were together, we talked about the artwork of Jasper Johns, and we saw that he used a grid style pattern to put his letters and numbers into, which we did that last week. We made our example of our word search in our boxes. So today what we're going to do is take some texture, put some textured colors on our papers, and then we'll finish by putting our letters in each one of those squares. So let's get started. I pre-folded the paper for you, so your 24 squares are on here. And we're going to add texture today. I want to give you some tips on how to do that. You're going to get a tote over at the supply area that has some crayons in it and some ribbons and various items for making texture. So when you do that, you want to put your textured item, the ribbon for example, underneath your paper, and then you want to hold your paper securely with the hand you don't draw or color with. So I'm holding down with my left hand. Now I'm going to take the crayon. I want to use the edge, the side of the crayon, not the tip like this, because I want to make a rubbing basically. I need to use good pressure with my hand, pushing down, and I want to go in one direction. One direction. That way, if I mess like this, I could rip my paper. It's sloppy. We want to go neat and slow. Plus, that way we can get a really good texture. So if I go nice and slow, I'll move my left hand, and I go in one direction, I'm not slipping my paper. And look at how the pattern of the ribbon shows through, because I'm taking my time, I'm pushing with pressure. The harder I push, the darker my color is going to appear. And then when I get down at the bottom, I'm just going to double check to make sure that my ribbon is going all the way to the bottom. And then again, secure, push, and hold. One direction. Don't scribble. You want to go the direction of the ribbon. Now on this white spot over here, I'll move, my ribbon's not thick enough to cover, so I'll move the ribbon over and then rub over there. I don't want any of that white showing. I want to get a good rubbing across my entire paper. That's a pretty good texture. Now I can pick a different ribbon or object. Ooh, I'm going to try this one. It has triangular patterns. So I'm going to put it this way, and I'll be rubbing along here. I'm going to change colors now. And it is okay if your patterns overlap and your colors overlap. We saw how Jasper Johns had many colors in his paintings. So we can do that too. I can overlap my color here. So I'm holding again with firm pressure. I'm rubbing in one direction slowly. Again, if I go really fast, the texture underneath might move also, and then I'm not going to get a good clear pattern. Now this pattern is hard for you to see because the crayon is so light. So I'll use a darker crayon for my next one, and I will pick this fun shape. Let's see how this looks. And I'm just kind of working my way up my paper. Again, I want to double check to make sure that it's covering and it's underneath where I want to create my texture. I can feel it with my finger. So I will rub here, holding with my left hand, making sure I'm getting the paper below. And rubbing with firm pressure and covering over here a little too. So some of these ribbons and things are going to create better textures than others. But there's a pretty neat swirl design there also. So that's how we're going to work today, artists. Fill your paper with different textures from the ribbons in the tote. Change colors often. Once that paper is all filled with textures, I'll tell you what we're doing next. Have fun on your texture treasure hunt. All right, artists, The next step, after we have all of our beautiful texture on there with lots of colors, some of our textures overlapping, going in different directions, different variety of textures. Hopefully our colors create unity and balance. Purple here, here, and here kind of leads the eye. Orange directs the eye. The blue kind of holds it together. And then the green is the main color there. So hopefully you've got balanced your colors. Now you are ready to put in your alphabet grid. You made your sample page with your letters and your hidden words in there. So now we're just going to transfer that onto our textured paper. Remember, the folds on the paper are like each one of these squares, and you chose either capital or all lowercase letters. So remember, you're working with either all capitals or all lowercase to create that unity that we want in the artwork. So you're going to now follow it the way that it is. So if you created a horizontal format, make sure your big paper's horizontal, not vertical. There's only 4 squares up there, but on my practice paper I have 6. So make sure you orient your paper the same way. Then you're going to take the black tempera paint, a little paintbrush, and very carefully we're going to paint each one of the letters on the grid. Remember to pull the paintbrush, don't push it. I used the very tip of the paintbrush to make nice thin letters or lines. I could use the paintbrush this direction and make my letters a little thicker. It's up to you, but I would make them the same. Again, we want to create that unity. When we saw Jasper Johns, his letters were all the same size and the same thickness or shape. So think of that unity. You're going to go nice and slow. My next letter is an H. I can see the lines of the folds of the paper, so my H will go right in there. I'm doing capitals. You want to work slow and steady. Make sure you're getting the correct letters in your grid. F is next. All right, go slow, artists, and finish your word search.